I'm Sharice Nicole with CNikky.com and EUR Web. We are here at Della Terra Restaurant for some cocktails and conversation with the beautiful Torrei Hart from Atlanta exes. Well, of course, the root of this show is, it's about exes. And you were married to Kevin Hart, who, everybody knows now. He's really blown up over the past 2 years. He's been around for a long time. But over the past 2 years, and I've sat down with Kevin many times. What a great guy. Very nice person. So it's nice to finally get to know you and see, get to see the other side of, what happened or whatever. So is that what we're going to experience on the show? Are you going to open up about, your past and what happened?
Well, I did speak about my relationship with my ex just a little bit, but, honestly, this show is more so about us moving forward. We just so happen to be attached to these very, famous, powerful men. That's all of our common bond, so they gave the name, the name of the show, that name for a reason, But for the most part, we are definitely talking about moving forward because that's what we're doing. Right. But of course, since that is my history and the show is called Atlanta Exes, we do have to speak on it. Right. But I wasn't just sitting there like, oh my God, Kevin, no, I'm moving forward. I'm on to bigger and better things and just living my life, post-divorce.
Yes. Well, that was a chapter in your book.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's great that we have an opportunity to get to know you and what you're doing now, because a lot of people immediately are going to want to put the label on you. Oh, she's the ex. She's
bitter. I'm like, bitter? Like, no. How does that bitter translate into, women sometimes when you're hurt? Right. Like, it's just like, no, nobody's bitter. At all.
Girl, listen, okay.
I sometimes tell people, here's a dictionary. Here's the definition of bitter. I ain't under that definition, okay? So,
well, let's just be honest. Like, let's have a girlfriend moment, okay? Because I have been through it with almost got married, been through some serious terrible relationships, been cheated on, lied to, heartbroken, in the flow, crying, begging God to just, but I think, right?
I've been on the floor.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I completely understand what that is as a woman. And while, we know Kevin, we love Kevin. Yeah, he's great. He's funny. He's still a man, honey. Yes. He is a man. And y'all men half the time are just not getting it right. Yeah. And you're breaking our hearts. And at the end of the day, we're looked at as, like you said.
Crazy. Or, they say, she done went crazy and she doing this and, bitter. And it's like, no, did you forget what you did? Right. But honestly, it's just all about how we react to what they do. And, it's about changing your reaction. And, of course, I was hurt. I was deeply hurt. I knew this man, way before any of the celebrity, any of the fame, and had children, and, I thought marriage was forever. Yeah. But it's not, and so once I realized, okay, I just have to accept this situation for what it is and move forward now, that's when I was like, I feel like a load is off, I just felt free. I was like, because I did a little bonfire in my backyard. Yeah. I put his name on a list with everybody else who during that time, who I thought had my back but didn't, I was like, I forgive this person, I forgive this person. And I just did a list, and then I went out to my backyard and I prayed over it, and then I lit it on fire and buried it and gave it to God. And when I tell you, honey, that like chills, like I really felt like freedom. I felt free. So, and that was just something I did, and you learned what tools you need to use to get past, what certain experiences that bring you down. So that was a tool that worked for me. Absolutely. Yeah.
I wrote a letter. And said everything that I needed to say. And once it was down on paper, I let it go. And
didn't you feel great?
I felt, girl.
Could you feel it?
Yes.
Like, I'm feeling chills now. Do you feel chills now?
Let me tell you what else I did, girl.
All right.
I wrote a letter. Then I wrote a letter to God and said everything that I thought that I wanted in a relationship. Put it in my Bible and let it go.
Good for you.
Girl.
I do that. I like that letter to God. Now, I never did that. I talked to him, but I'm going to write him a letter.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All the tools we need to move on. Yes, write that letter, girl. Write that letter. Now tell me, what did all of the going through all of this teach you about you?
Woo, okay. It taught me that I do have a mouth on me. I do know that much. I have to learn how to control my tongue, especially when it comes to men, because a lot of men, they can't handle me. You know, I'm very independent. I'm very strong, and I have to realize, okay, even though I'm strong and independent, I still have to let a man be a man. You know what I mean? So I did learn that about myself, and I also learned, you know, that I have to learn patience, and you know, how to approach something that's bothering me. You know, come from a place of love, not just, you know what, well, I got a problem. I saw you doing this and we gonna fix it right now. You know, like, no, I can't do that. I have to be like, you know, honey, you know, this is bothering me. You know, I'm not feeling that you're feeling the same way about me. I'm feeling like there's something in my gut telling me something's not all the way right over here. Can we talk about it? You know, versus the being angry and upset. Even though I know the truth, you know, you still have to approach it from a different way. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, this relationship did nothing but prepare you for the right one, right?
Yes, it
for
did.
the right one, girl.
Yes, it did.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it is so much better when you get there.
Man, it really is. Because like I said, now I know how to handle things totally different. Like, I don't even get into my emotions. And I'm a Pisces. Okay, so I'm an emotional creature. You know what I mean? Like, I will light something on fire. Like, oh my God, you even did this shit again. Like, but I just really now, I'm just like, okay. I'm very calm. And I just control it. And then I speak. And it works so much better. And I'm working on my children with that. Because my son's a Scorpio and he's so emotional. And I'm like, you're letting your emotions control you, son. Don't let them control you. And my daughter's like, Hendrix, yeah, you're letting your emotions control you. Don't do it. What did mommy say about emotions? And so I'm teaching them a tool that I learned at my age, and I'm teaching them something so they'll have it through life. So
preparing them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you know, one thing that I know personally, and I think a lot of women and men deal with, is when you go through things like this that shake you to your core, it makes you question yourself. It makes you, you know, your self-esteem comes into play, and you, even though you know that it was the other person that did wrong, you start saying, you know, was I not this enough? Was I like, and we shouldn't do it, but we do it. Did you experience that?
I did. And, you know, and honestly, it wasn't all Kevin's fault. I won't say it was all his fault, because I look back now and I take ownership of some of the things I could have did differently. But I did question, you know, my beauty. I did question, like, well, wow, you know, why is it that I feel like all black men, when they reach a certain level, they have to feel like they need someone of another, you know, race or, you know, a different skin tone on their arm. And I'm just like, well, why aren't we looked at as beautiful? You know, we're beautiful black queens. You know what I mean? Like, and I love, you know, my black men, you know, and I support them 100%. I don't feel like once I make it, I got to go to the other side, you know, and not saying because I've dated outside of my race, I have, but I just don't feel like I need it on my arm to feel better about myself. And I just feel like sometimes our men do. So, yeah. So it did make me feel a certain type of way. It did. But you will find that one person who does love you for you and can appreciate a strong black woman.
Absolutely.
So they're not all the same.
Right?
Yeah.
I just look at it like they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle it, girl. They couldn't handle you.
Yeah.
You know, you're beautiful. You're a businesswoman. You a bad mama.
Bad mama.
Bad mama jamma.
And funny. Right? You know, it's a lot. I will admit, I'm a lot.
Listen.
I intimidate a lot of people. I don't mean to, but I can see where it's very intimidating. But, yeah.
Well, that's okay, because we love it. We love you. And that's all that matters. God loves you. Your kids love you.
And he created me this way, so I can't change.
Absolutely. Well, we don't want you to change.
Yeah. Whatever I do, for the better.
For the better.
Always for the better. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we are looking forward to seeing your journey on this show, on your own show.
Yes, speaking into existence.
Right?
She said it. You heard it here first.
Yes,
she said it.
Putting it out there in the universe.
Yeah.
I'm watching some more of Yo Funny Girl. I just want to be in one of the YouTube videos. I'm just saying, you know, I could do Beyonce too. You know.
Well, you know, Simone ain't gonna let you do Beyonce. That's Simone character. You can't do that. But
I'll do Tamar or somebody.
okay, well, yeah, you can do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I'm ready.
We got you.
But I love you. I think you're hilarious, and I wish you so much success. So
Same to you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Good energy, good spirit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the grinds and the new love and everything. We're going to see you and your boo in the pages of the magazines, and they're going to be like, what? Kevin who? Kevin who?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Atlanta X's August 18th, VH1. There's a double premiere, so make sure you tune in. Also, go to torreihart.com, TORREIHART. Check me out, see everything I got going on, where you can buy skimpies, and just keep up with me. So, and you will love it because it's going to be a great journey.
I'm Sharice Nicole. Thanks for watching CNikky.com. Remember to tune in Monday nights on VH1 for Atlanta X's. And remember, to know what's good in Hollywood, you gotta see Nikki. Don't forget to subscribe.